Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a 2-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.
Hey, good morning, my friends. It's a beautiful summer's day here in Kingman, Arizona. And that means, well, perfect weather to discover the charm of Kingman's historic district on a bicycle, which just happens to be the subject of today's conversation with Jenn. Miss Jenn, how are you doing this beautiful morning?
Good morning, Jim. I am doing great. Thank you. How are you doing?
Oh, gosh, I'd probably have to be dead a week for it to get better than this.
It's pretty nice out right now, I gotta say.
Oh, it is. We've had a really pretty decent kind of summer. Almost perfect for, well, exploring Kingman on a bicycle.
Yes, and I love this season of the monsoons where it's a little cooler out, a little more moisture content in the air, and it just makes it feel a little different. Um, we just did our first group ride, not to skip too far ahead, and it was like the perfect night for it. We were so lucky. We were, hoping for it to be just a touch cooler, and it was just making me so happy to have a little bit of fall in the air.
Are you renting bikes kind of in the evening or just during the day right now?
Well, we're open Thursday through Monday, or Thursday to Monday right now, closed Tuesday, Wednesday, opening at 8 a.m. and closing at 6 p.m. on the weekdays, but then staying open till 8 p.m. on Friday and Saturday nights. So we did the
Perfect.
group ride. Yeah, we did the group ride from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Everyone got back just as the sun was going under, but they got to enjoy that like sunset ride. So it was just perfect.
Wonderful. That sets the stage for what we need to talk about this morning. What is Kingman Rental Bikes?
Kingman Rental Bikes is a few things. It is a first and foremost rental bike company where you can come rent a bike for a half hour, an hour, take it for a spin around downtown for a self guided tour. It's rental bikes predominantly. We also have an amazing travel shop and gift store that carries all the stuff that you might want to take out on your bike, stuff that would be fun to take to the park, or stuff that's great for a road trip. So, like, uh, you know, little paint kits or stuff for kids to do in the car or a little travel trivia, things like that. And then our third thing is Route 66 Bicycle Museum, which is a free museum, open the same hours that the bike rental shop is. And we host a collection of bicycle innovations and get to invite guests to come in and experience a little bit of nostalgia. It's kind of like a quirky, fun, quick walk through. Even if you don't rent one of the bikes, you can come in and enjoy the museum. So we're a 3-part business. And we do lots of other stuff, which I'm sure we'll get into too, but that's the core focus of the business.
And as a bonus, you're right downtown on Andy Devine Avenue, Route 66 here in Kingman, in a corner of 2nd Street and Andy Devine Avenue, in a 1930s service station right next to Kingman's best ice cream parlor, Scoops on 66.
Absolutely. We have a wonderful location, located right in the heart of everything and really quite across from the actual Heart of Kingman sign. And yes, we are located next to Scoops, next to Tin Can Alley, and next to Mud, and next to Mr. D's, and next to the Powerhouse, and next to the Canada Mart, my family's other business. Like, we really feel like we are in the mix of pretty much everything down there. And Scoops, like you said, is the best ice cream in town. They have 2 non-dairy flavors, which I eat for lunch probably like twice a week at least.
Well, I have to ask, you have had kind of an interesting, well, shall we say, life adventure. And I know you have a connection to Kingman with your family down at Canada Mart, the old McCarthy Studebaker and International dealership, which we'll talk about some other time. But my God, how did you end up doing this? I mean, this is different. This is exciting, and this is kind of something that we needed here in Kingman. So, how did you happen upon this idea?
Well, first, I appreciate you saying all of that about it. I do think it's a fun concept for Kingman and something that hasn't been done before. So, I guess I would say this concept has been in the making actually for a little bit of time. I originally met Lenore and Tim a few years ago when I was a marketing partner of Cactus e-bikes, which was an electric bicycle rental and sales company that one of my great friends, Dave, he owned. I helped him create the brand. And so we had this e-bike company. And I said, my family's on Route 66 in Kingman. Why don't we see if we can kind of expand the company there? So we originally met Lenore and Tim to try to rent this same building. Actually, before they had purchased it, even we met them to kind of talk about this concept for the e-bikes. It didn't end up working out at the time, unfortunately, but they did still acquire the building. My business partner, unfortunately, had a really hard time getting parts to fix and upkeep the electric bicycles. It was during a lot of the supply chain issues. And I remember meeting Ed, the spokesman back then as well, and asking him like, hey, do you want to be the mechanic for these electric bikes? And he gave me a lot of great advice, which was, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be able to get these parts right now. And he was right. It turned out we weren't. And so time went on, and I was living in Las Vegas, and my roommate, this was about a year ago, my roommate last summer, she had the beach cruisers that I have now available for rent in Las Vegas. She started a bicycle rental company there, and she decided that she wanted to change career paths and she was going to sell the bicycle rental company. The bikes hadn't been out too much. She used them mostly for like group rides. And so they were in amazing shape. And I said, oh, well, maybe I'll re-energize this idea that I had a few years ago to bring bicycle rental to my family's city, which is Kingman. It's, we have a business on Route 66. Maybe it can all work out again this time around. And so the building that Lenore and Tim had was available when this was all kind of being thought about. And at the end of last year, or actually I should say the beginning of this year, very beginning of 2025. And it all worked out for me to buy the bicycles from my roommate in Vegas. I had just decided to move back to Kingman full time, and it all kind of just magically worked out at the same time. And so it started out like I had the bikes and was going to do the bike rentals, and we were trying to decide what should I put as the second thing in here? Like, what else can we use the space that we're going to rent for? And I had the idea to maybe get some old-timey bikes to display, and then it just kind of turned into Route 66 Bicycle Museum. And then now recently we added the tour component on, but that's kind of like the skinny on how the idea came about. It was like a long time in the making, but this iteration went kind of fast. Like, it was the bikes and the building and everything was like available at the exact same time.
Isn't that funny how you can get an idea and it just doesn't work. It's like pushing a wheelbarrow full of rocks up a hill with a flat tire because it's just not the right time. And then when it is right, everything seems to click. I was just making a note here. I do apologize. I just realized I had talked to you about sending you, because you've also got great illustrations on the wall in your bicycle museum. And I did not send you the patent applications for the coaster brake that my grandfather came up with. So we're going to fix that today.
That's right. You told me that your grandfather actually was the one who patented the
Coaster
brake
brake.
that is on the bikes that we use.
Yeah, 1898. I got to do that. I have another one for you, too, that I've found since then. Electric bikes. Guess how old those are?
Okay, only because I've kind of been looking into purchasing like oddball bikes lately, and I've seen some tanks on bikes. I'm going to take a guess. Okay, I don't know, but I'm going to guess the 70s.
Well, how about I found patent applications for an electric assist bicycle in 1897.
Whoa! Wow.
Hey, I gotta ask this too, Jen. Your passion for bicycles. Where I mean, you do have a real passion for bicycles, and is this a childhood thing, or was your experiences in Amsterdam? Did that kind of influence your interest in bicycles?
Okay, so I think a mix of all stuff because when I was a small child, I actually didn't really ride a bike much. My brother was really heavy into bicycle racing and BMX and kind of daredevil biking, I'll say, like a lot of little boys are. And and I was more of like a book reader and kind of like teacher's pet. And I was really quiet and didn't do a lot of risky stuff. And so I wasn't super into it when I was a kid. And then I learned really how to ride a bicycle as an adult. One of my friends kind of taught me how to ride on the boardwalk. Like one day in California, we rented bikes and she taught me, and it was terrifying. There was so many people everywhere. So that was my first like adult experience on a bike. My second one, I went to Burning Man in 2015, and you really have to ride a bicycle there. Like it is miles of stuff that you like terrain you have to traverse in the dust, in dust storms. You have to have a bike. So I kind of got forced to really learn how to ride a bicycle like there, but it was perfect because you're just kind of riding in the open area. And then what you just mentioned, I was fortunate to get to spend almost an entire year in Amsterdam. I actually got a work visa or I started a company there, a marketing company there. And that gave me like a visa to stay longer than the like travel visa. And so in Amsterdam, you are riding a bicycle in the streets, in groups, obeying traffic laws, stuff I never rode a bike in the street until then. And so I felt like I got to learn so much about how to actually ride a bike. I bought my first bicycle there. His name was Bike Tyson. He unfortunately got stolen outside of a Freet's shop when I didn't put the lock on. So I would say, yeah, like the cumulative experiences made me have a new appreciation as an adult. Like I'm very excited to learn what I'm learning now about bicycles. And also like kind of looking at it with childlike wonder again, which is super fun for me. Like I really feel like I'm experiencing this like as a kid would. And I get to see that all day. People come into the museum and they walk around, and or even if I'm in the lobby and I overhear, people are constantly going, "Oh my gosh, I used to have this," or "Oh, my grandpa taught me on that," or "Oh yeah." So like there's always some nostalgic story. So for me, that's also super fun to get to experience like the secondhand nostalgia. But yeah, I really enjoyed learning about it. And I'll also say that every time a guest comes in, I learn something new about bicycles.
Well, the bicycle story is people. I'm just excited about this all the way across the board. This is just an exciting addition to Kingman and to the Route 66 community. But bicycles, I mean, people don't realize bicycles are really the reason we have Route 66 in the highway system. And bicycles are really the cornerstone for the American auto industry. I mean, Lewis Chevrolet, for God's sake, started out repairing bicycles, then racing bicycles, and then manufacturing bicycles. Uh, Bicycles are just a big part of the story. Now there's whole tour groups that organize Route 66 tours on bicycles. So this is really something. I bet you're going to be busy on First Fridays downtown with bicycles. Now that
We've had a lot of fun so far on First Fridays. We've been programming like bands as entertainment and sort of throwing a party a little bit on the property on certain Fridays and on First Fridays. This one, for the August one, we're actually going to go into the footprint and pop up a tent and an activation and sell some of our products from the gift shop and promote the bike rentals. We have a great selection of non-alcoholic beers and also craft dog beer. And so we are going to pop up on First Friday and sell some of the NA beers to the guests that are walking around. And then also, like I said, promote the bicycle rentals.
excellent idea. I have to ask, dog beer?
Yeah. I found an amazing product. There are more dog beers out there, but I sell Tail Wagger, which is a delicious brand that the dogs absolutely love. And I have 4 flavors. I want to say I have savory, brown ale, veggie blonde, chicken porter, and then a bone broth, a beefy brown ale bone broth.
I
And
gotta
it's
tell you,
non-alcoholic. It's more of a broth, I would say, but it has like maybe a touch of carbonation so that you like literally crack the can and it's like, and then you pour it out. Pour a cold one out for your best friend.
that is just absolutely amazing. If that doesn't bring a smile to your face, but this Jen, I can't tell you how excited I am about what you're doing because the historic district renaissance has it took a while to get it started, but the momentum has been picking up, and most everything has been on Beale Street, one block off Route 66. But with Tim and Lenore and some of the other projects going on, it has overflowed now to Route 66, and the time is ripe. This what you've got going here is such a perfect family friendly activity, a great way for a family to enjoy downtown Kingman. And downtown Kingman is perfectly suited for this because our historic core is about 6 blocks in each direction. It's perfect for this.
That is exactly what we tell guests is that, you could see the entire area in about an hour, whether really on foot or on the bike. And probably from like Calico's area, even up to 66 trains, to maybe 8th Street, 9th, 10th, if you're on Beale or Oak. And then that's where the bike lane actually starts, but it is the steep incline up El Trovador Hill. So, I mean, we really tell guests, like I said, whether they're on foot, kind of meandering around on a walkabout, or if they are going to take out a bike, that's kind of the area that we recommend sticking around, and that there's so much to see. I grew up in Kingman. I really grew up like pretty much living downtown because, like I said, my family business was down there. And after school, we'd be at the family business. On non school days, we'd be at the family business. And I felt like I knew a lot about downtown because I spent a lot of time at the Mojave Museum or, kind of meandering around the parks and doing stuff like that. But again, now I'm an adult and I'm looking at everything with adult eyes, and you just start to care about things that you didn't even literally see at eye level as a child. And now I'm like, oh, these statues or these landmarks or, oh, I never knew Metcalf Park was actually a time capsule. I played there my whole life. Now I'm reading the plaque, So it's like, it's just kind of rediscovering Kingman. And like you said, it's really been a resurgence and a renaissance with a lot of the commercial development that's been going on, but also the street improvement project that happened. I mean, there's so much that it's really primed right now. Even all the new neon, that whole street that just got redone in front of the powerhouse. We've done improvements to the C-Mart. It's like Lenore and Tim's project. The Duntons are doing new stuff. Everything just feels really alive right now on that corner. And it's so cool to see because it wasn't anything. That corner was really, mostly just the car wash and then some other private businesses. But now it's like alive with action. It's fun.
Well, the other thing that's really important about this from the Route 66 standpoint, as well as from the Kingman standpoint, and a few weeks ago, we were privileged to have Elizabeth Olwig with us from Missouri Route 66 Association. And we were talking about how do we keep this alive beyond the centennial? How do we get a new generation interested and excited? And your business really taps into that. This is something, it's really, this is key to keeping things relevant and alive for a new generation. People want to get out. They want to experience things. And this is a tremendous way to do it. You mentioned the downtown, the revitalization, our historic district renaissance. It really is an exciting and diverse. And having grown up here myself, downtown Kingman is evolved. It's changed, just as Route 66 and everything else. It's different. That's not a bad thing. It just means it's different. And discovering the history downtown, when I helped Kingman Main Street with the narrated walking tour, I was astounded to learn a story behind some of the things I'd been walking past for 60 years. Pretty amazing stuff down there.
That's right. Well, we, are now promoting and giving information about the tours. And so I am learning lots, like I said, about what's down there and scanning the plaques, getting to hear your narration. I mean, you're really telling like stories about these places and landmarks and buildings and the people that were behind it. And Savannah, my colleague who works at the bike shop and does the tours, we were saying how we're learning so much, just through the magic of the tour itself and getting to tell people, oh yeah, you can scan the plaque, you can hear the narration, there's a written history about it. Like people's eyes light up because they're already walking around and then they get to know, like they're like clued in to what they can do and they're excited about it. I mean, we're excited about it and we're locals. So I know the tourists are also excited about it. And even giving locals information about the tour is fun because you'd be surprised, or maybe you're not, how many people are walking the downtown. I don't know if they always were or what, but I get so many locals who come in and I ask, oh, where are you visiting from? And they say, oh, we live here. We're just grabbing ice cream. Or we live here. We're just kind of walking around shopping. I just feel like it wasn't that long ago. Like we didn't have so many locals meandering down. I've said meandering like 3 times. Cruising around downtown on foot, just checking stuff out and shopping and grabbing ice cream. Like I never did that. I think it's awesome to see people doing that now.
Well, we could, this also brings up regional tourism. And no offense to the people who live in Lake Havasu, Needles, or Bullhead City on purpose. I pray for you. That river country, it's not hell, but if you squint hard, you can see it in the summer. And coming up to Kingman, short drive, and especially in the evenings, we've got just about perfect weather for exploring downtown Kingman on a bicycle. There's so much that can be done with this, and I'm just excited.
The first guided tour, so that was one of the first things I said, I'll tell you more about that, went out on Friday night, and it was a small but mighty tour. We had 3 guests, and Savannah, who I said is our new colleague who is guiding the tours. We got our insurances prepared, and then we got CPR and first aid certified so that we are able to take people out on the tours and be confident about everyone's safety. And Joyce from the city joined from tourism, joined the tour, and Donnie's from West of Third. And they went out to Cellar Door, we were doing, the night event was a non-alcoholic IPA tasting coupled with the bike ride. So we don't really promote like drinking and riding. So we promote non-alcoholic beer and riding. So we asked Cellar Door, my good friend Crystal and Jeremy, they own it. And I said, hey, Crystal, do you guys want to do a NA IPA taster for our group? So this was our first collab, which we're looking forward to doing many more with lots of businesses, where the group took off from the shop, took the bikes up Beale Street, and then parked at Cellar Door on the new Route 66 bicycle racks. There's like tons of them all up and down Beale now. Those just got put in with the new street renovation project. And they had a little taster of the NA IPA there. And then they went up 4th and saw lots of historic sites because 4th is its whole own tour, basically the 4th Street Corridor tour. And went up 4th and then cruised all the way down Oak, went to Locomotive Park, scanned plaques there, talked about the history of the trains, took a group photo, and then cruised back to the shop. And you're right, it was the perfect weather for it. Like I said, it was a sunset ride. We thought we were going to set up like a water sprinkler for everyone when they get back, which we still might for the other group rides. But we didn't need to do it that night because it was like a perfect breeze. So anyway, yeah, it's the perfect time right now. And the other perfect time, if not evening, is mornings. I get to the shop like right around this time, and it is so beautiful downtown in the morning. We offer rides online. You can book starting at 6:30 a.m. We have a sunrise ride, a 7 o'clock regular rental start. So even though our shop opens at 8 for walk-ups, someone could book online as early as 6:30. And that's really the prime time. Like I love mornings downtown. So beautiful, especially with the coffee right next door. Mud opens at 7 a.m. Actually, I think they open at 6:30. So if you do the sunrise ride with us, it actually comes with a cup of coffee from Mud. But if you book anytime or even just come to see us to see the museum or whatever, you can go grab a nice cup of coffee from Mud, which I do often, and then come back to the shop and enjoy it. And it's just like, it's a beautiful morning.
Yes. The mornings are best. I try to get out in the summer around 5, 6 o'clock for hikes out here in the canyon. But you sparked an idea, a thought. Non-alcoholic tours. I know we have some great craft breweries downtown, award-winning microbreweries, but I never thought about non-alcoholic. And a while back, we talked to the folks who owned the Hive Meadery up the street here on Andy Devine Avenue. They're also offering non-alcoholic drinks. So these kind of tours, non-alcoholic tours, including dog beer, God, you've got something that I can. I mean, that's a thought.
It's pretty fun. I'll say I have like met so many people who come to the shop to get the non-alcoholic beers. It's been probably our number one selling item, and it's really it's a community in and of itself. And even if you're not sober from alcohol and you just are maybe like wanting to have something during the week, or you just want to join the bike ride and have the fun, but have it be safe, it's perfect. And you're right, High Five Meadery, I actually had serendipity when I went there. I went there to drop off flyers, and our employee from the Canada Mart was there, and he opened the door for me, and I was like, oh my God, what are you doing here? So that was already like a fun serendipity. But then when I went in, they had a fridge full of non-alcoholic options. And I thought that was so awesome to see, because that is fun for me, someone who doesn't drink alcohol, to be able to go and enjoy and still have just as much fun and not have to get just like a Diet Coke or something. But I will say I visited pretty much every establishment on Beale and Route 66, and they all have good non-alcoholic options. Even if it's just like Heineken Zero or Bud Zero, or kind of the more like national brands, which are great as an option, all the way to, I know that Blackbridge sometimes brews their own non-alcoholic options. I think like right now they may have a ginger beer, but I was talking to someone yesterday who said that Blackbridge used to have another, like a real like craft NA beer. So to me, that's so awesome that these like real bars and real breweries are providing those options for everybody too. So we're super excited to collab with anybody really who wants to collaborate with us for anything, but especially for making these tours get more and more exciting and have more and more stops.
Yeah, Blackbridge, it's intermittent. They make it at different times, but they make a non-alcoholic ginger ale from a 100-year-old recipe with shaved ginger root, and it's just extraordinary. This opens a whole can of worms about how this can be a family event with his non-alcoholic drinks and some of the other things that's taking place downtown, the ice cream scoops on 66 and milkshakes at Mr. D's. This opens, just unleashes the imagination what we can do for family activities.
Well, that's like what we did on Friday night. So you just brought up Scoops again. I'll tell you, it was actually fun to do that. We collaborated with them too. So we did some pairings with the IPA tasting room. And so I got some Scoops Bucks. Any guest who wanted to pair their IPA with the Golden Nugget butter pecan ice cream from Scoops, they could do that. Or we had crackers and like a peach jalapeno jam from West of Third. And then we had vegan espresso brownie bites from Bearded Baker. So yeah, it really was like fun for the whole family. We do say anyone under 18 needs to be accompanied by a parent or
Yes,
guardian.
yes.
Yeah, but like, yeah, bring the kids. It's fun. We put up seats outside and everyone can kind of sit around and enjoy a little bit of music. Sometimes there's a DJ, sometimes there might be a band, but we always try to make it like a little bit of a fun vibe. In addition to going out on the ride or just doing the rentals, we kind of make it like it's a fun place to hang out a little bit too.
Yeah, I was talking to Shelby down at Dutton Motors, and she's got some pretty good plans about adding music to her corner right next door, and maybe even starting doing something like on a second Saturday evening. So there's something going every weekend downtown. Uh, wow, this opens a lot of things. Aside from getting you some more things for your wall, like patent applications and odds and ends for the museum, what's the future for Kingman Rental Bikes? I just know with your infectious enthusiasm and your excitement about things, I imagine you're dreaming pretty big.
I do have some fun stuff in the works. As related to the bikes and the tours, I will say the future goal, I just told the minor this. The minor came and covered our first group ride, which was so awesome. So my goal for the tours and the bikes is to eventually get to a place where, you know, guests are able to just show up and grab a bike and kind of jump on and off a tour almost, where we're just churning bikes out all day and people are able to just kind of grab a bike, even if it's for 30 minutes, right? And go experience a little bit of something. Like I really want the bikes to get to a point where they're just rocking and rolling all day, and where we have the tours with a guide able to take people out all day. We're not there yet operationally to be able to support that program. But that's my goal, is to have like an all day tour situation happening. And then the museum, of course, we want to expand the collection in there. I'd love to maybe even get the museum to a point where it is actually an organization itself, and maybe can take serious donations. A lot of people come by with amazing bikes and we just don't have the budget to like purchase them for the collection. But if there was a way to take stuff in like bigger donations, I think that would be exciting for the museum. And then my background and experience is in hospitality and events. So my goal is to continue hosting fun events and kind of making it like a nice place to hang out a little bit. But I do also want to use the brand to be able to create bigger, larger scale, non-alcoholic events, family friendly, that the community can enjoy. So I have like one event in the works, where I'm right now like putting an application in with the Parks Department to rent Metcalf Park and have it be a Kingman Rental Bikes branded event, have the bikes going out during the event, have a bike ride planned around the event, but then also have like a dance party happening at the park, and maybe being able to collaborate with all those folks that we just talked about and do more of like an alcohol free style event where everyone is promoting their NA options, or we have like fun candy and popcorn and like carnival vendors and stuff. But again, it's an alcohol free, family friendly event. So that's kind of my future plans: getting the bikes rock and rolling, getting the museum stacked with an amazing collection, and then just doing more fun stuff with the community and promoting more fun, really.
You know, yeah, this, the downtown Kingman with the Locomotive Park, Powerhouse, Metcalf Park on the west end, and then the 4 blocks on Beale and Andy Devine that are just so vibrant right now with restaurants and shops, and we have a thriving art district. The Beale Street Theater's just been renovated and reopened as a performing arts center. It's so ideally suited for hosting events downtown. And hosting events downtown showcases our community to prospective, well, to people who might be looking for a place to live, open a business, retire, raise a family. Not to mention, it supports the downtown local businesses. So the more events we can host and organize downtown, the better everybody's going to be. And it becomes a template for other communities. One thing I wanted to ask, I'm sure there's a different, probably insurance and just a plethora of other problems that would go with this. But have you given thought to, since we have a great trail systems here, mountain bike rentals?
I have thought about mountain bikes, maybe bringing the e-bike idea back, some more like road bikes. But as far as, oh, and also small children's bikes. Right now I have, more for maybe like a 9, 10-year-old child. But I spoke to Ed, the spokesman, and we discussed mountain bikes a little bit. And he said when I'm ready to start getting mountain bikes, he would help get like the best trail bikes. I think the insurance would maybe be a little bit,
Yes.
maybe we have to extend the policy somewhat, but for the most part, everyone signs a waiver. We make sure that everybody does a bike class before they go out. We make sure everyone's in good health before they go out. We make sure everyone has water before they go out. So mountain bikes, although they're not something I am super familiar with, I would probably be leaning on Ed more at that time to kind of add it and learn more about the trails and things that I'm not 100% prepared to send someone out on a mountain bike on the trail. But I think that that's definitely an idea to expand, because we have a lot of trail system here. The White Cliffs Trail is right behind the shop. And I know a lot of folks, I'm seeing folks stop by Ed's all day with their mountain bikes ready to go out. So I know it's popular. I know people would be excited about that. So yeah, it's definitely something I would plan to do in the future. And like I said, work with Ed or work with, some locals who are very familiar with literally the territory, to make that more of an experience that I would be confident in sending
Right.
guests out to do.
Yeah, because that would be a totally different can of worms. I mean, that's a totally, yeah. But I've been I get out on the trails quite a lot, and I work with some bicycle companies. Lon Haldeman, Adventure Cycling Association. He'll be here in Kingman soon for his Route 66 tour. But I started checking on bicycle blogs and websites and message boards and groups, and I am very surprised how well known and how popular our Surbet Foothills Recreation Area trails are, and the White Cliffs trails with mountain bikers. I was very surprised by that. But so yeah, that'd be another can of worms. One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
Yes, so I like to call it a can of caterpillars because hopefully it turns into butterflies at some point.
I like that.
You
I
know?
do like that. Yeah. Would if people? I know you're not in a position to buy bikes, but are you in a position if people are moving or they're cleaning up the garage and they have an old bike they want to get rid of? Uh, would you be in a position to consider that?
Yeah, so right now what happens is quite frequently people will stop by the shop with something bicycle related, or they want to tell me about something bicycle that they have. And then it usually will sound like the coolest thing ever that I absolutely have to have. And then they're like, well, but then I'm kind of looking for X amount. And I'm like, oh boy, okay. Um, can't do it. But
Yeah.
then on the other side, a lot of folks come in and they're like, oh, we have this bike and we just need to, we're like you said, we're moving or we're cleaning things out, or sometimes it's not a full bike. And it could be everything from, okay, I have one gentleman, his name's Douglas Berlin. I'm going to give him a shout out because he donated a lot of items to the museum. I actually put a little plaque up for him that says 2025 Museum Curator. He donated things like a Greg LeMond autograph on a magazine cover, or a stamp collection of bicycles from all around the world.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, another item that he didn't bring, but someone brought that was affordable for me, which was, they just wanted a couple bucks for it, was a John Deere bicycle, which everyone comments on. I learned some fun facts to tell people about it. And it's now one of our most talked about items. And it just came into the shop like about a month ago. Someone brought it by and said, I have an old John Deere. I really just need a couple bucks for whatever. So sometimes that works out, but we've had quite a few just straight donations to the museum that have really made the collection very exciting. Like, I've bought a few things on eBay to kind of add that I felt were meaningful or fun. Like an example, I wanted something Andy Devine to kind of tie in Route 66. And I found a comic book that he used to be on this Buster Brown television show, which was like a
yeah.
cartoon in the 50s. And
Mm-hmm.
they did a Schwinn giveaway. And so I have a comic book now that's the cover is Andy Devine and Schwinn bikes. And so it's pretty cool to have like a crossover item too. So yeah, donations are welcome. People are welcome to come tell me about stuff anytime. Also, any chit chat anyone wants to come have, please stop by about whatever. If me or Ed can fulfill whatever need you have around bikes, probably because we're neighbors. And yeah, so anyone who wants to stop by or tell us about an item they have, please do.
I want to encourage folks, not just in traveling Route 66, but in the regional area, or if you find yourself in Kingman, and you need some inspiration, you see potential in your community, and you need some inspiration, some ideas, some thoughts. Stop downtown, talk to Jen, take a bicycle ride, rent a bike, and discover downtown Kingman. Talk to Tim and Lenore. Talk to Shelby over at Dutton Motors. New generations taking over that family business. But I find it extremely exciting and inspirational what's downtown. And when I speak on tourism and economic development issues, I highlight the grassroots initiative, what you mentioned about collaborative efforts, working with other businesses around you. That is so vital and crucial to developing a community. You're quite an example, Jen. Quite an example. Very inspirational.
Thanks, Jim. Right back at you. I'm definitely enjoying getting to know everybody that I didn't know in the downtown area and seeing how many of my friends that I've known my whole life growing up are now business owners. They're involved with everything, organizations. I'm working with the Chamber of Commerce now. I didn't see that coming, but I am. It's like I'm getting so much community out of working with these amazing people downtown and collaborating with them. And I'm honestly having so much fun. Like I said, I really didn't see a lot of this coming, but as soon as I plugged in, I realized, wow, there's so many amazing people down here doing stuff. It's so fun. Like, I even like getting to take my little break every day and go walk around a little bit myself now and go on Saturdays, or, well, I used to have Saturdays. Now I'm at the bike shop. But my friend Sabrina and I used to go on Saturdays and like just go kind of walk around and shop and go get ice cream and all those things too. So I'm experiencing Kingman and living downtown in like a whole new way than ever. It's awesome.
I'll save this for a private conversation, but something that popped into my head. There's a section of Route 66 downtown. It's a short run, but it'd be longer than what you've been talking about. But it would be a perfect bicycle ride to experience Route 66 with no traffic and to really get a time capsule feel for the road. I'll talk to you about that. Jen, I really appreciate, I don't want to swell your head to the point your hat don't fit, but I'm really impressed, and I'm really glad you're doing this. I'm finding this very exciting addition to downtown. And I want to thank you. I know you're busy, and I want to thank you for taking time from your schedule to join us this morning and to do this. I for one, really appreciate it. I'm going to put you in touch. I'll do it with an email. I'll put you in touch with Elizabeth Olwig from Missouri. She's a very passionate young lady that is full of ideas and thoughts. And one of the things that she mentioned was doing something similar in Bourbon, Cuba, or St. James, Missouri. And I think you two might have a lot to talk about, and I'll facilitate those introductions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you for joining us this morning, Jen. I've really, really appreciated this. If anybody has any questions, please, jump right in here. And yeah, I'll take a quick minute to let you know what we got coming up on the next couple weeks and a couple other notes that might be relevant, shall we say. Next week, I have Anthony Arno with us. Anthony is got quite a life story, includes bicycling. And he's also a retired educator. He's got a critically acclaimed Route 66 podcast, and he's launched a innovative Route 66 scholarship program for elementary, junior high, and high school students. We'll be talking about that. And then Ray Harvey, he's the acclaimed mural artist out of Missouri. He's been venturing west the last few years and doing some murals here in Kingman. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but he's got a big project coming up this fall here in Kingman again. But we're going to be talking with him on the 10th of August about public art along Route 66 and in communities, and how public art, the role of public art, murals, sculptures, how that plays a role in revitalizing historic districts and helping foster development of a sense of community and community purpose. Then on the 17th, I'm really excited about this. We're going to talk to Pat Tuttle. He is the tourism director in Joplin, Missouri. This fella is dynamic. He's passionate, and he is a thinker. He thinks outside the box, and got a lot to show for it. And he's got some just exciting things they are doing for the Route 66 Centennial to set the stage for the countdown to the bicentennial of Route 66 celebrations. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. And of course, I need to give a shout out to the people, some of the folks who make this possible. This and the educational programs and everything we do. Of course, the supporters that through Patreon, I greatly appreciate your contributions. We use those funds to help develop a lot of educational programs, schools, and organizations that simply don't have money. And it really wouldn't be feasible as much as I'd like to without that kind of support. And now, sharing America's story and telling people where to go. Well, that's what I do here at Jim Hinckley's America. It's not a Jim show. It's about America, about inspirational people. It's people like Jen, people who get us excited, get us to think, and inspire us. That's what it's about. So I am really honored I find all sorts of creative ways to do that, to share America's story and inspire road trips. I've been working with Austin Coop at Two Lane America for quite a while. Wonderful company. I'm very honored to be affiliated with. I organize lunch presentations here in Kingman for all of his tour groups. Well, now I will be writing a monthly blog post for his website. You can check that out. David Brenner, Roadrunner Lodge Motel in Tucumcari. It's great to work with him. That is a place I highly recommend. And of course, the Wagon Wheel Motel in Cuba. This is more than just a motel. This is the oldest continuously operated motel on Route 66. And Connie Eccles, really, she's the Route 66 spirit made manifest. And I work with Gilligan's Route 66 tours. I just was downtown with one of their tour groups here in Kingman, giving them a downtown walking tour, introducing them to some of the stories with Kingman. And Angela Moreland, Cactus Inn Motel. Vicki Ashcraft at the Enchanted Trails Trading Post and RV Park. What a treasure. She has dedicated years to the Route 66 community as the president of the Route 66 Association of New Mexico, one of the founding members of the New Mexico Route 66 Alliance. And the Enchanted Trails Trading Post is not just a full-service RV park. It really is a destination. And I also work with Route Trip USA out of the UK. They specialize in bespoke Route 66 and road trips, adventures in the United States as well as Canada. And I work as a travel development, tourism development, tour development consultant for them. And now I'm also writing for their newsletter every month, trying to inspire a road trip or two. So with that said, does anybody have any questions for Jenn? And if not, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to add, I've got questions here that people have sent me, texted me, or emailed me in the last few days about today's program. Jenn, I was going to ask you, the building you're in, I could have asked Tim and Lenore, but do you know, I know it's a 1930s service station. Do you know when that service station was built?
Oh, that's a good question. No, we got to ask Lenore and Tim.
I thought we probably would, but I thought I'd run through these questions I got asked here. You already answered this. The bicycles for children about 9 or 10 years old right now is where you're at. You don't want to get much younger than that.
A very tall 6 or 7-year-old could also try. It's just we only have 24 and 26-inch bikes, so nothing smaller than that.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here. Events downtown Kingman. Well, great times down there. We've got Chillin' on Beale. If you can plan your visit to Kingman around that. That's the third Saturday afternoon of every month. That's down by Locomotive Park. Just, a block and a half from Kingman Rental Bikes. And if you're staying at Tin Can Alley, which is next door to Kingman Rental Bikes, well, you're in the heart of everything. First Friday that Jenn and I had talked about, it kind of speaks for itself. It's the first Friday of every month. That is grown into just an extraordinary event. I guess they're attracting 8,000-10,000 people.
Yeah, almost 10,000 people every month.
That is just mind-boggling.
Awesome.
Yes. And now the Beale Street Theater. Yes, that is the old State Theater. And that's got an odd story, but that's a story for another day. But the Beale Street Theater, this is another reason to stay downtown Kingman as close as you can. Tin Can Alley and Arizona Inn are your best options for staying downtown. And everything in the historic business district is easily accessible on foot or by bicycle. Sunrise bicycle ride breakfast. Well, like I say, they have some baked goods down at some pastries and whatnot, and Mud on 66 down by Kingman Rental Bike. And
yes, Bearded Baker Goods.
There you go. And Calico's is be a nice little bike ride. come down, pick up a bike, ride over to Calico's, try their Mexicano plate with their jalapeno infused bacon, and just enjoy the morning.
Calico's is wonderful. I eat their salad bar quite frequently. Shout out Calico's.
Yes. Jenn, again, I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody who joined us this morning. Maggie, it was good to see you. Maggie Mays from East Lansing with the Ransom E. Olds Museum. It's always good to see you. Elizabeth, it's a pleasure always to have you here and talk with you. Elizabeth, like I say, is with the Missouri Route 66 Association, and she's got an array of projects simmering on the back burner. I think we're going to see some great things there. But I won't tie everybody up. We won't beat our gums too much. But we'll hopefully see you next week. Kingman Tours. This just popped up. Kingman Tours is real easy. It's just kingman.tours, www.kingman.tours. Real easy. And it's a Kingman Main Street project. They did work with the city of Kingman. It was developed through Talisman Magic Marketing, uses QR code technology. And it was designed as a virtual tour as well as a physical tour. That way, if you're, say, in jail in Joliet and you have internet access, you can still take a tour of downtown Kingman. But it's a great way, a great introduction to downtown Kingman. A great starting point is at the historic depot on the corner of 4th and Andy Devine Avenue, Route 66 is a good starting point. The former mayor, Jen Miles, when you scan the QR code, she tells the story of Kingman Tours and gives an introduction to the... So you could do a walking tour downtown and then wrap it up with a bicycle tour and a sampling non-alcoholic drinks throughout downtown. My friends, I'm so appreciative of everyone who joined us today. I look forward to hearing your comments, your thoughts, your ideas, suggestions. And we'll have this published later this afternoon. I'll have a link up for Kingman Rental Bikes. That's real easy too. It's kingmanrentalbikes.com. Pretty easy for you. And like Jen mentioned, you can book a good sunrise outing. And this time of year is perfect for a sunrise adventure downtown. Nice and quiet, nice and cool. Great way to start a day. Well, Jenn, once again, thank you very much. And thank you, everybody who joined us. Invite your friends. We'll do this next week. And when we get this published, there's an embedded player, by the way. The website for the archived programs is pretty easy. It's just jimhinckley.podbean.com. And then I offer website designers an embedded player. And there's one on Kingman Tours, The Bee, the regional news source. Jim Hinckley's America has an embedded player with archive programs. So you can always, find those there. And if you're a website designer and you would like to have this program on your website, just drop me a note. Well, I'm going to send us off with a little bit of music from my good friends of Joe and Woody and the boys of the Road Crew, roadcrew66.com. And always a theme song for a road trip or inspiration for one. Jenn, you take care. Have a great week. And thank you for sharing your enthusiasm with us this morning.
Thank you, Jim. It was so nice chatting with you.
You bet. Adios, my friends. We'll see you again next week, or we might see you downtown Kingman. Vaya que Dios, mi amigos.
Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a 2-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.